Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one for you. It's today's the day, March 2nd. We're in the middle of Gary Gensler's confirmation, and it's actually still ongoing, but I had enough clips that I just wanted to put this video out for all of you who are too busy to really sit through the 2+ hours we're already into this thing so far. And there's some great takeaways here. You know, they're not giving away the farm, but he is certainly letting all of us know how he intends to lead at the SEC. And the key word is lead. Let's roll that beautiful intro and get into this.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today coming in right now at 42 cents, pulled back slightly from this morning. We're still ranging between 42 and 45 cents this day. We will keep an eye on it. Today is March 2nd, the confirmation hearing for Gary Gensler, and it is going very well right now. Now, let me go touch on some news right before we get there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Unstoppable Domains, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know of a company that's been more unstoppable. It is March Madness. Listen to this, what I'm telling you. Listen to this. For the first time ever, NFT sale on 3 to 5 character and sometimes more cryptos that have never been available before. Now, I can't imagine what athletic.com sold for or surfer.com, but surfer.crypto is available for $15,000. Rugby.crypto, $25,000, and so on and so on. Look at all of these. This is remarkable. The bidding starts in 43 minutes, 38 minutes. It's Pacific time. Just under an hour, you will be able, for the first time in the history of cryptos, have a crack at getting one of these cryptos. Sport.crypto? Oh, my Lord. So, look, I don't have $50,000, but if I did, I bet you I'd buy it. I can tell you that. But in 1 hour or just slightly less, you're going to have the ability for the first time ever to get a crack at some of these names. That is remarkable. Link in the description and the comment box alike. Make sure you check that out. It will be happening all month long. They're going to be introducing new categories. Very exciting. Okay, now moving on really quickly here. This is Jed McCaleb. They said Ripple has transferred $627,974,493 XRP to the man without whom the company would never have been founded. You know what? That's exactly right. And you even hear him tell you that in the Kryptonaires documentary that's done, and we will let you know as soon as we get a release date from the company that has picked it up. That is exciting stuff. All right, now looking right here, Stellar continues to make news because recently they just added USD coin onto the Stellar network. Well, Stellar has now created Horizon 2.0, adaptable to multiple use cases. Uh-oh, anyone else smelling smart contracts? I don't know. But I tell you, XLM, XRP, they've been big favorites of mine since day one. Now, not financial advice. Let's keep moving very quickly and get into the Gary Gensler stuff in just 1 second. These are going to be the highlights from today so far, and they are pretty cool. Over the past 30 days, Grayscale Investment Hedge Fund has acquired 35 million plus XLM. They're loving Stellar too. In a recent congressional hearing, not the confirmation hearing, but just about, it was last week, I believe, Jerome Powell said that the Fed will engage with the public on the digital dollar this year. I remember specifically Jerome Powell talking about in 2019 that we were at least 2024, 2025 before we'd even think about touching it. All of a sudden, there's going to be engagement this year. Goes on to say, he also stated that it's up to Congress to give the Fed legislative authorization for the project. Me thinky, this is going to be big. Stay tuned. Attorney General says, we're sending a clear message to the entire industry that you either play by the rules in crypto or we will shut you down. I appreciate the enforcement. I appreciate the ability to set a tone from the Attorney General. But Attorney General James, what might those rules actually be? Don't hold your breath because we don't have them yet. But you know what? The faster we can all get them, the better I think we can all follow your plan, which is to adhere to the rules which we do not have yet. At any rate, moving on, just to highlight, this is from the opening remarks, and I'm getting ready to play you clips from the actual hearing in just about 10 seconds. In the decades since, this is from his opening remarks to the Congress for Gary Gensler's confirmation hearing. And I want to just set the tone for where these clips are going to play for you. He said in this open remarks, in the decades since, we have seen when the SEC does its job, when there are clear rules of the road and a cop on the beat to enforce them, our economy grows and our nation prospers. That's exactly right. And that's my point, not to be a smarty pants to Attorney General James. But the reality is we do not have clear rules in this space, and we need them desperately. We need what I believe Gary Gensler can help to bring, along with Michael S. Barr, should he be confirmed at the OCC, formerly of Ripple, and should we get, hopefully, Dr. Chris Brummer at the head of the CFTC, which would be a perfect fit there. And if we do, I think between those gentlemen alone, we could see a clear unified framework for digital assets coming in the coming months. All right, so but when we take our eye off the ball, when we fail to root out wrongdoing or to adapt to new technologies or to really understand novel financial instruments, things can go very wrong. And when that happens, people get hurt. That's right. And you know what? We're seeing that. I said it this morning's video. I think there's no finer example than the lawsuit we see with Ripple and the SEC, because there's been a lot of people hurt because of the lack of clarity coming from the SEC. I think that is going to be a thing of the past. Gary Gensler is a leader, and you may like or not like what he's leading, but I tell you this man is a leader, and he has a clear vision about what needs to happen. Let's listen to the first clip right here from the Cryptic Poet. Shout out to you, my friend. And this clip's a little low, but the rest of them are all the way at the level you need. So here we go.
Once again, thanks for taking the time to visit with me as well. Two of my colleagues that introduced you today touted your expertise in digital currencies. I'm proud that crypto companies like Anchorage Trust have found a home in South Dakota. At the same time, I know that our outdated crypto regulatory regime is leading other organizations like the Diem Association to set up shop overseas. What can Congress and the SEC do to create a more forward-thinking regulatory environment for innovators in this particular space?
Senator, thank you for having met with me and for that question. I think as I teach at MIT on these subjects, that these innovations have been a catalyst for change. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have brought new thinking to payments and financial inclusion, but they've also raised new issues of investor protection that we still need to attend to. And so I think if confirmed at the SEC, I'd work with fellow commissioners to both promote the new innovation, but also at the core, ensure for investor protection. If something were a security, for instance, it comes under the securities laws, it comes under the SEC. If there's exchanges that trade those, to ensure that there's the appropriate investor protection on those exchanges. So promote technology, but still stay true to our core values of investor protection and capital formation.
And that's really a great line. And obviously stock, as you would imagine, right? He's not going to let everything right out at a hearing. And they have had talks behind closed doors, by the way, as well. So I think I got the volume right for you guys on that one. That's just a first clip. Now we're going to hear this clip right here and listen to what he says in here during this clip, and we'll comment when needed. Here we go.
Senator, I thank you for that opening. I share your thoughts. It's always important to update our market oversight to new technologies, but I believe foremost to be technology neutral. And I say this because if this new technology of cryptocurrency and potentially central bank digital currencies comes along, that it's important to stay true to our principles of investor protection and capital formation, but at the same time be technology neutral. So I think that at the SEC, it's really to the extent that somebody is offering an investment contract or a security that's under the SEC's remit, and they have exchanges that operate there, then we have to make sure there's investor protection. If it's not that, it's a commodity, as Bitcoin has been deemed to be.
As Bitcoin has been deemed to be. Okay, that's one of the peeps in the little window there that Gary Gensler is letting you know. He feels like no matter what, Bitcoin is under the CFTC purview at this point in the conversation. That's good to know. Not that some of us didn't understand that, but this is Gary Gensler telling it to us. And that's all that matters right now.
That it's either a question for Congress, how Congress would want that to be overseen, or it's possibly a question for the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. But I would work with the staff, I'd work with fellow commissioners and see how we can move forward, and to the extent investors can be protected and invest in these markets, that they're allowed to do so, but to do so in, again, the core function of investor protection and capital formation.
Really great stuff there. Now, we're not done. Oh, no, we're not done. Let me see. I want to fire this clip up because I believe this clip is different. Hopefully, I don't wrangle these clips together too much here. But let me play this one first for us. Here we go.
Now, in 2018,
and this is Senator Loomis, who obviously has been a big advocate for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Listen to this.
Said in front of the House Agriculture Committee that blockchain technology has real potential to transform the world of finance. Could you talk more about how this technology can promote financial inclusion and reduce risk and create new markets?
Well, I think it's already doing some of that right now, that it's been a catalyst for change. Central banks around the globe are really looking at how to provide more inclusive payment structures, more inclusive payment tokens. And so that's in one area as a catalyst for change, but it's also other payment system providers are looking to say, how do we provide payment systems that operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and at lower cost, both cross-border and domestically.
Are you hearing what he's saying? It's a top priority that the central banks are participating in issuing stable coins. I'm paraphrasing. And then he talks about cross-border payments and domestic payment systems, which we know from Brian Brooks at his time at the OCC. Blockchain and distributed ledger technology and cryptos are new forms of payment networks. It's exactly what he's talking about. Let's listen.
Blockchain technology itself is a shared accounting system, if I might say.
Bingo.
And I think that's also led to some new thoughts about how to do trade finance and even medical records technology and the like. So I teach it. I'm neither a maximalist nor a minimalist, but I think that it's really been a catalyst for change in numerous areas.
Wonderfully said. And you know what? All of those areas that he mentioned, even the medical area, Ripple has been working in to some degree or another, whether it's cross-border, domestic issue, or medical issue of solving blockchain in that area. They are in all of these areas. And to me, that is refreshing because, look, this is Gary Gensler. He's a teacher of blockchain at MIT. Former head of CFTC or chairman there. So, you know, this guy has a wealth of knowledge of not only what these things are, but how the markets should operate, what they should look like. And this guy, I believe, is going to be very key into delivering a unified framework along with the other head regulators. Let's go ahead and listen to this final clip right here, where he talks about something I've talked about here on this channel quite a bit, and it's FSOC. The Financial Stability Oversight Council. It's not a market regulator, it's a prudential regulator, which means it's a tick above, right? And just listen to this clip and we'll talk about it.
I'd like to move over to FSOC. In late 2019, FSOC made several important changes to prioritize an activities-based approach, add transparency, procedural protections, and impose a cost-benefit analysis to the systematic risk regulation designation process. Secretary Yellen, before the committee, confirmed that she supported an activities-based approach. Do you support these types of important reforms?
If confirmed, look forward to working with Secretary Yellen, working with all the members of the FSOC on designations if they're appropriate, and there are activities-based activities that could be systemic. So,
what'd he just say? There are activities that could be systemic. You know, clearinghouses are systemic. The CLS clearinghouse is systemic. Systemically financial market utility. It's a systemically financial market infrastructure, SIFMU or SIFME. This is the ability to deem something from FSOC, which is a regulator, prudential regulator that is connected to the U.S. Treasury. They have the ability to come in and to deem something, and I will tell you, like the XRP ledger or the RippleNet protocol, and they could deem that enterprise systemically important to the financial market utility or market infrastructure. And it's a done deal, ladies and gentlemen. And they're talking about these things right here. This may be one of the paths that we end up going as a part of our path to get to a settlement with the SEC and Ripple, which is the Financial Stability Oversight Council. They may come up with a settlement decision that allows the FSOC to come in shortly after whatever that decision is and to deem, let's say, XRP or the Ledger or RippleNet or all of these things as systemically important financial market utilities, and we're off to the races, because at that point these things have such a special designation because they're so deemed to be so important to the financial system that they have to have this heightened level of supervisory and prudential oversight to these particular things, these entities, these assets, and the ledger and things of that nature. Let's keep listening to what he says here, but make no mistake about it, he is talking about certain things. They're having a conversation which seems like coded language about the idea of certain things being deemed exactly that by FSOC. Keep listening.
As I understand your question, yes.
Do you, and also, I don't know if you can answer this or maybe give me an answer for the record, but I'd also be curious as to whether or not you think the SEC has the necessary mandate and the tools necessary if you were to pursue that approach. If you've got an opinion now, you can state it. I've got about a minute and a half left, or you can just submit the answer for the record.
Why don't we let you, I'll do it for the record then, sir.
He says he'll do it for the record, sir. He doesn't want to share that publicly. He will share that opinion privately. Let me just go back here so you can hear this.
Confirmed that she supported an activities-based approach. Do you support these types of important reforms?
If confirmed, look forward to working with Secretary Yellen, working with all the members of the FSOC on designations if they're appropriate, and there are activities-based activities that could be systemic. So, as I understand your question, yes.
That to me is remarkable. There are activities that could be deemed systemic. That to me, and is he saying Ripple? No. Is he saying XRP? No. Is he saying XRP the ledger? No. Did he say RippleNet? No, he didn't. But that doesn't mean that I can't use my understanding of where we are. Listen, if you understand why Ripple's being sued by the SEC, you understand it's not because they're a crap coin. It's because they actually did what they set out to do. They actually achieved widespread adoption with success, as the SEC stated in the original complaint. using non-cash agreement for market makers. Incentivizing all the different areas of industry, whether it be banking, payment providers, remittance. They did it. And the SEC knows that they did it. And now we're having a discussion, I believe, that is a coded public discussion in the middle of a confirmation hearing about how exactly we would handle certain activities of this new style of payments financial system. And could we potentially see FSOC designations for these things? And Gary Gensler says, depending what these things are, the answer is yes. They go on to talk about the depth that they've been in this market, which I'm not going to play for you because it's really not necessary. But they just go on to talk about the many years that they both have been in and worked for different administrations. And Gary Gensler remarked that under the Clinton administration, he worked on electronic payments and making that a smoother disbursement to people and citizens in the United States for, I think it was regular checks and things of that nature. So Gary Gensler's background is absolutely perfect for where this moment is with the digital asset world and the traditional legacy world and Congress and the market regulators and the whole bowl of spaghetti that is just plopped in one big pile. I think Gary Gensler is going to be an absolute key proponent to getting the unified regulatory framework in place. And I dare say it, I don't make predictions on my channel, but I'm going to make one now. I think in the coming weeks or months, we're going to see the kind of regulation delivered that makes Bitcoin maxis and Dogecoin maxis and people of that ilk absolutely scream at the heavens. But I also believe at the same time, it will be the kind of unified framework or regulatory decisions or issuances that come out that let the institutions know it is a green light and an all go ahead. And that is the light I'm looking for. That's going to do it for me for now. I will bring you more as it comes in. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about the Unstoppable Domains March Madness. They're going to be doing this every week. Sports.crypto is now available. Go to my link in the description box in the comment section. You can get it there. And there's other products and services in there too for anything that you may want or need. And I will catch all of you on the next one.